Have you ever dreamt of having this many diamonds? And by that, I don't mean just like this pile. I mean so many that you can just build it. Like you can build an entire base out of diamond blocks or diamond ore. And you could just throw diamonds up in the air like this. Have you ever dreamt of that? I don't think any of us can say we can't have imagined that. None of us, I'm sure, can say we don't want that. So, today I'm going to give you a couple of ways, let's say, to get this many diamonds. And these will be the quickest ways, as I'm leaving out some more boring ways, because who would want to know them? Anyway, let's get right into it. So, the first method I'm going to show is a tunnel bore, and these are a bit expensive as they need 3 ancient breeze, which are kind of hard to come by, and 6 slime blocks, which are also kind of hard to come by unless you have a slime farm. But anyway, let's get into how to build them. Also, here are all the materials on my hotbar, along with these materials here. So let's start. So first we're going to place 3 ancient debris like that. And this is the direction of your tunnel where these ancient debris are heading. Then we're going to place 3 shroom light blocks, or any light block, or even any solid blocks. So these could be, again, these could be more ancient debris if you want, but that's a bit expensive. So we'll just use 3 shroom light blocks, because then they also give off a little bit of light while you're mining through your tunnel. Then, going to skip a space and place a piston so its wooden face is facing towards these ancient debris. And behind that, we're going to place an observer so that this face kind of thing is pointing away from the ancient debris. In front of that, we can place 1 wall, any type of wall, and then 1 slab, and this can also be any type of slab. And then, on top of the wall, we'll place 1 TNT block, and on top of the observer, we'll place 1 coral fan block. And this can be alive or dead, it doesn't really matter, because if it's alive, it'll just turn to be dead soon. Then, on top of the slab and behind the TNT, we'll place 1 slime block, then a shroom light block, and then a slime block to form this L shape here. And then what we can do is on top of this coral fan block, we'll place 1 slime block, and coming off that, coming away from the ancient debris, we'll place 1 top slab, so that there's a little gap between the TNT and the slab. Then what we'll do is we'll come to this, the top of L shape, and we'll go away, skip 1 block, and then place 1 piston just like that, so that the wooden face is facing towards the ancient debris and towards this top slime block, but there's a space in between. Then we'll go 1 slime block, and then we can do a temporary block and place a piston so again it's facing the same direction. So this is what it looks like now if you just want to quickly check. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get our sticky piston and we're going to stand here below this piston and place it so it's facing away from these ancient debris. So we've got this kind of pattern, so these 2 are facing towards them, this one's facing away. Then on either side of this piston we'll just place 2 slime blocks like that. Then what we can do is we can come and place an observer just like that, so it's facing into the ground. So if you look into this slime block, you should see that little red thing there. If it's like that, then you've done it correctly. If not, then you probably placed this slightly wrong. Then what we can do is we'll take our note block, which we've got, and place it on top of this piston. So we've got this shape, and we go up from the observer and place it on top of that piston. And then we can come to the back of this machine and place an observer onto that note block, like this. So that the red bit is the bit showing, and the face of it is pointing into this note block. So if we just break that note block, which I probably shouldn't have done, because I've slightly broken that. Let's just quickly fix that. But if I break that, you should see that the face of the observer is like that. So let's have to quickly do that again. There, so this is what it looks like now. So if you want to, you could just pause the video and quickly look at this design and see where all the blocks are. But the next bit, don't do it just from a screenshot. So let's do the next bit. So for this, you will need these materials here. These are kind of like the spare materials that you have. So just these materials. So you'll come out 2 blocks from either side of it. So you see the L shape again, come from the bottom one and come out on either side. So it could be either of these 2 places. And it doesn't really matter which side you choose. And then you will also need 1 piston. This has to be a normal piston though. And then we're going to come up against this L shape and place a piston so it's facing back into the machine. Then here we're going to come in line with the machine and place a detector rail like this so it's in line with the machine. And then we're going to, on top of that we can place our minecart. And this can be any type of minecart, but I just like to use the chest minecart because you can put any like deep slate or tuff you find inside it, so that your inventory doesn't get clogged up, because it will, trust me. This is a fast machine. Then underneath the block that the piston is on, so in here, we'll place 1 redstone torch, and this should push the detector rail with the chest onto this slime block at the bottom of L. And if you've done it correctly, the TNT shouldn't blow up. Now you can just break the redstone torch, break the piston, and break these 2 blocks. And now the machine is active. And let me just show you what it can do. So to activate it, you just press this note block, and then boom. It goes boom basically. So don't press it anymore until the TNT has exploded. Like this. So we'll wait until the TNT explodes, and there we can press it again. And as you can see, it's mining a lot of blocks. But don't do this. Like that. Because that, as you can see, it blows up the machine, and that isn't good. So don't press it again until the TNT on the end has blown up. Anyway, let's go on to the next thing. Okay, so for the next one, we've come into the seed for Oracle SMP, which I will be releasing a video on shortly, so check that out when it comes out. But anyway, we mined into this cave in that world on survival, and I found a really good way to find diamonds, and I thought this was the perfect seed to demonstrate why the next tip I'm going to show you. And in 1.18, ore generation changed slightly, so there were actually more diamond ore, but they had less air exposure. So though there are giant caves, you don't really find any more diamonds than you used to. But that doesn't matter if it's covered by water. So if you go into these little water pools, you can easily find many diamonds. Like this one, and also down here there is some, over here. Look at all these diamonds. And they're so easy to find in these water pools. You just need to bring a couple of doors with you. There are some more diamonds up there. And there are just loads of diamonds in here. More diamonds in there. Actually, I didn't actually find these on the survival series. I might have to go back and get them. But anyway, there are loads of diamonds hidden underwater, and they're easy to find because of, well, they're covered technically by a water block, so that counts as them being covered. So they're very easy to find underwater. And this allowed us to get most of our diamonds that we found in Oracle SMP. So let's go on to the next one. Okay, so the next one, we're still in the same seed, but the next one is kind of the normal one. This is a slightly different form of strip mining. Let's quickly put on F3 so that we can see what level we're at. So what you want to do is go down to Y58. So here we are, Y58. And then you want to get a trapdoor. So this can be any, I'll just pick this jungle one. We place it on, so this top block there, we're going to place it on that. Then we're going to flip it up so it looks like this, with the top thing here and it's attached there. Then we're going to break the block underneath that one. And then we walk up to it and flip it down. And this trick only works on Java Edition, but if you want to do it on Bedrock Edition, then instead what I do is I'll just clear out a little bit of room for me here. What I do then is just dig that one more further and make kind of this L shape here. Then get a water bucket and also get a sign, and this can be any sign you want. And all you want to do is, well, first of all, come down here and down that passage place one sign. Then place a water bucket up here, come down and swim. You should be able to swim into crawling mode. So for this, all you do is you just walk along and you dig a big passage. And then what you do is you want to come back to the start and go right up to the block as far as you can and dig to the side as far as you can go. So that should be 5 blocks. Do that on the other side as well. And then you go 1, and actually I'll get some wool blocks here to demonstrate this more clearly. You want to go 1, 2, and then you mine to the side again, and the same on this side, and you just keep on repeating this all the way down the passage. And you can do a really long passage if you want. I think on Oracle SMP I went even further than this lava pool over here, like maybe into that lava pool over there in the distance. So you can go really far with this method and it gets a lot of diamonds. Let's go on to the next tip. So this next one was actually discovered by our friend Daedalus Fire. So for this one you also want to get down to, actually we don't want to go in spectator mode, do we? Oops. But for this one you also want to go down to Y58. So let's quickly go on to F3 mode. So Y53, 54, and let's just keep going down until we're at Y58. And here we are. And for this you start by mining a big tunnel, just like this. It doesn't have to be that big. I do it in quite small strips actually, if I were you. Just dig a nice big tunnel like this. Block off any lava that you get to, of course. And then you just place 2 TNT, leave a space, 2 TNT. And then leave a space, 2 TNT, leave a space, 2 TNT. And you can get into the hang of it and place it like that and quite quickly. Then you light the top one and you go back a little distance, like I go quite far back. And wait a little while and then you can go into your passage. And hopefully you've found some diamonds. I think we might have been a bit unlucky here, but it is a very good method for finding diamonds. I do actually show this in one of the episodes in Oracle SMP, which will be releasing soon, so I'd go and check that out when it comes. Anyway, this is one of the methods if you don't want to bother with making a tunnel bore. I just got my first stone. Yeah, but if you don't want to bother with making a tunnel bore, then you could do this if you have enough TNT. So let's go on to the next method. For the next and final technique, you do have to beat the End Dragon, so it's a bit harder. And I would recommend having an elytra when doing this technique. Once you find one elytra, then it's very easy to do this technique. So all you need to do is find one of these end cities, and it has to have one of the 2 treasure rooms. So it's either this design of treasure room, where it has 2 windows, a 2 block gap, and then 2 windows. Unlike some other treasure rooms, and also these bottom ones, they're on the bottom, they never have anything in them. But something like this tower, it doesn't have any loot chests in it. It's just one like this, because the other design actually has a design more like something like this, where it has 2 windows that are far apart like this. Those ones don't have any loot in it. But these 2 buildings, and this is one where it has like this weird room and a little tower on top. These 2 buildings do have loot chests, and these ones have 2. but this one does have a lot of shulkers. So what I do for this one is I just come in with your elytra, land on top, and then just run in as quick as you can, run behind the chest, and then usually they miss you. If not, then you'll have to attack with your sword and try and get rid of flying missiles. Anyway, here is a really good example. You can get loads of diamonds. So from one chest I got 6 diamonds. You can also get diamond armor, loads of other ores like this, some iron armor, and some emeralds. And let's see what the other one has. I wonder if it has anything good. Because this one might. And the way to raid these ones is to swoop into the back, and then this is the back, and you can tell that when flying down is because you go the opposite side from this bridge. You just come here to the opposite side, you land, you go down on this stair, you break this block, and there should be a chest there. This time we only got gold, but that's fine. And then also, the other good benefit of this is you can also get elytras from this. And the elytras, there's the ship, and you can get some elytras from it. So if you find one with a ship, then you get an elytra. And these, if you sell the elytra, then you can get a lot of diamonds. Because usually, if you're on an SMP, you can sell it for around 20 diamonds. 15 at the lowest, I'd say, and 25 at the highest. But these are all very good ways to find diamonds. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learnt something, and I hope you all become diamond millionaires. So goodbye.